How do you pick from the pile? But in this particular video, I wanted to talk about the reasons you were rejected that were not your fault, and then the reasons you were rejected that were completely 100% your fault and within your control. Okay, so let's dive into it. Okay, reasons you were rejected that were not your fault. One, you applied to a highly competitive university with a low admissions rate. So really, every candidate who was applying to that university was a strong candidate, meaning if you were applying to Harvard, Princeton, Yale, NYU, Columbia, U Michigan, and so on, well, there are certain criteria that the universities expect. They want the SAT score, ACT score, they want the GPA, and maybe all the candidates met it, right? Because you're not really going to apply to the universities if you feel like you're way off. If you have a 2.0 GPA and they want a 3.9, then you're probably not going to apply. So that means the thousands of students who applied pretty much all had the numbers. And they probably all had the number of AP classes. So again, they all took the 3 to 5 to 7 AP classes. They might have all done the extracurricular activities. So at that point, the university is basically in a difficult position of choosing between all these freaking amazing students. How? How do you pick from the pile? And sometimes what happens, and I've watched this in like behind the scenes footage, or like, what is it? I think, did I read about it or I watched it? But basically they just said, you just have to look at your pile and pick the top one off the pile at that point. So that's basically what happens if you have these piles of students and they all meet, let's say, the diversity criteria that you might have had. So that's one of the reasons you might have been rejected. That was not your fault. It was just a competitive pool of applicants and they just happened to not pick up your application at that moment in time.